Alright, over here at Hive 1, got the smoker lit. Got my handy flashlight. Give them a few puffs of smoke inside the inner cover. Hit the entrance a few times. This thing's working nicely today. If I can get the lid to close better. Come on. Good enough. All right. Let's take a look at hive number 1. See what they've been up to. Got some nice weight to it. That is not a scientific way of checking the weight of your hive, but you can tell if a hive is light. All right, so like I said in the intro, and I'll tell you what, hate the word disappointment, but they are just not doing anything in this super. And look at this, brand new frames, like no new wax or anything being drawn out. All right, calling for some support here, fellow beekeepers. If you know a trick to get foundation drawn out quickly, please let me know. I guess the number one answer that comes to mind would be feeding them, which is what I might just have to do. And I know what people say, you know, don't feed your hives during the nectar flow. Got it. That's if you have drawn comb in a honey super. If you don't have drawn comb and you're trying to get some comb drawn out, I'd say that's probably a no-brainer. I mean, they're building all kinds of wax on the bottom of the frames. They're just not moving up into the super at all. So, really not sure. Come on. Not sure what's causing that. I don't know what's up with this colony. Alright, let's pull a few frames. See how the bees are actually looking. Alright, so this is frame number 2. Yeah, that's a nice frame, nice drawn wax. You can see in a few of the cells, I don't know if the camera will pick that up or not, kind of glistens in the sunlight. So they're storing some nectar in there. They're just not moving it up into the super. Drawing that out. Same thing, that side's nicely drawn. Again, just like the last video, that's a nice food frame. A lot of pollen. Some nectar on that side. These bees just don't want to get out of the way. Yeah. And the smoker starts smoking you out. It's the worst. Let me grab my flashlight. She's right behind me. So, like usual, anytime I see brood that's what some folks would consider spotty, I just check around it. Just looking for eggs. So there's a lot of, hopefully this is on camera, there's a lot of spun larvae in that section. So if you just keep on looking, mainly in the gaps of course, you should start to find some eggs. Sometimes it's really hard to find in the older comb. So none on that side. But yeah, we have eggs right here on this side, so they're still queen right. Didn't really have any doubts they would be, or wouldn't be. But it's just look through the rest of the frames real quick, just to get a good idea how the brood's looking. Should start seeing a few solid frames of brood as we keep moving to the left. It's the side of the colony that gets the first sun. So my observations, that's where the, I was gonna say best brood, but that's where most of the more solid brood frames are. I can see spun larvae throughout that already. So again, just really just out of curiosity, seeing how the eggs. Yeah, this colony is going to explode here shortly. So eggs here, spun larvae throughout here. Yeah, give them another week or so. Yeah, there's eggs throughout that. So not that long ago I would have dismissed that frame as just an empty frame because the eggs are just that hard for me to see in older dark comb. But after I started using that flashlight, it just opened my mind to how many eggs there are in a frame that are just hard to see. Not the most solid frame, but I mean it's still nice. And I'm gonna scrape that off the bottom there. Clean that up a little. This next frame looks pretty nice. They just don't get the hint sometimes. I have a feeling, I mean unless she's moved around of course, the queen's gonna be on this side, because when I opened up the colony most of the bees were on top of frames 8 through 10. And that's proven to be accurate in the past when you're really trying to hunt down the queen. When you open up your colony, just pay attention to which frames most of the bees are sitting on top of, and that usually, not every single time, but usually is where you can find the queen. Yeah, this colony's going to explode in the next week or so. this frame was really stuck to the sidewall. Alright, well, didn't spot the queen in this one, but did find plenty of eggs, so she's still in here somewhere doing her job. Just get them put back together so they can enjoy the rest of their day. Alright, that's that for hive number 1. There are some bees up here. I'm going to take a quick look in case, for whatever reason, the queen moved up in here. I wouldn't really expect that because there's nowhere for her to lay eggs, but weirder stuff has happened. And the reason I wanted to check that is because I'm going to slide a queen excluder on. So, to summarize this hive, they're doing fine. Obviously, as the beekeeper, whenever you have a super on, you like to see some wax being drawn out and honey being stored, or nectar being stored and cured into honey, but you know, they're going to do what they want. So I think to kind of get them going in the right direction, I'm going to whip up some 1-to-1 sugar water today and feed them later on, if not tomorrow, just to give them a lot more of a food source so they can start drawing out some wax